Yo, what's going on, guys? I am back to give you guys my Week 3 NFL picks. In this video, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to recap my Week 2 NFL video and then look at my Week 3 picks, early look. So let's get right into it. Please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you don't want to miss a video, you can hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button. So my Week 2 video did pretty solid with the picks. Matt Ryan, I was all over him at 5,700. I thought he was going to be the clear chalk. Was not. Only 4% owned in Millie Maker, and he ended up putting up 32 Draftkings points, which was great. Kamara, I liked him a lot. You know, he had a touchdown, but it was called back with a holding penalty, which sucks. He finished with 18. That's what happens if he's not going to find the end zone. You're not going to get a great week out of him, so he didn't do great. Melvin Gordon, and I was all over Melvin Gordon. Had him as the thumbnail Week 2. He put up 31 with 3 touchdowns. Sanders had a decent week. He was 4 yards away from the 100-yard bonus. Keenum actually started throwing to him in the second half, thank God. So he put up 13.6. Aguilar without Jeffrey was an easy play. My part, only 9% owned. A lot of people were not agreeing with me, but he put up 23. Sanu was the only terrible pick. Only had 3.5. I thought, Ryan was going to look to him a lot, but he just did not look to him until like the fourth quarter. He didn't have any targets until like the fourth quarter, which sucks. Calvin Ridley took away some of his targets, it looks like, but I'm still kind of high on Sanu. He's still really cheap this week. I think, if he gets a touchdown, he's going to make value at that price. But all in all, it ended up being a good week, as you see. I only play one lineup for the main slate. We put up a 148.18. Good enough to cash easily in all the double ups. So looking to continue that for Week 3. If you want to join us this week, you can visit my website, DFSprocess.net. You get access to all the NFL pages, as well as my optimal lineup that I play. The same lineup that I post is the one that I play, the only one. So you get access to that, as well as all the written information, and just easy process to get on board. You just have to create an account and then go to become a member page and select what works for you. All right, with that being said, let's get on to my Week 3 picks. So this week I'm going to go, I might talk about some other players that I like, just because the pricing is pretty tight. Like, there are a lot of options in a similar price range that I am high on. So if you're making multiple lineups this week, I think it's pretty easy. You can just play one of each of them. If you're just focusing on one lineup, it is kind of difficult to narrow down, especially at quarterback. But I think there's one guy that kind of sticks out above the rest a little bit. So I'm looking at like this mid 6K to late 5K range. And there are like 4 quarterbacks that really jump out. Drew Brees at 6,400. He's in a dome in Atlanta. Brees plays well in a dome, even though it's on the road. He's still at 6,400, which is a great price decrease for him. So I think Brees is definitely in play this week. Watson as a GPP play is a great play. Cam Newton really sticks out at 6,000. The upside that Cam Newton has running the ball. And he's at home in a good matchup against the Bengals, which struggle against the pass, so we could see Newton throw the ball a lot this week. So I think Newton at 6K, that's one of the lowest prices you will see for Cam. Russell Wilson, the similar skill set to Newton. I like how Draftkings just made them both the same price. You're going to have to pick from them. They're both very similar players. Only difference is Carolina has a better offensive line and a little more weapons, with Seattle's banged up a little bit at wide receiver, and Russell Wilson's going to have to do everything. And then I think Matt Ryan at 57, same price as last week. He's sticking out this week as well, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns, which he's probably never going to have again, which got him to that 32. So I'm happy about it that I had him in the week that he had 2 rushing touchdowns, but I'm not sure he's going to get 2 rushing touchdowns this week. I think he's going to get back. He's still a safe play to get you around 20 Draftkings points, but I think Newton, it has more upside, so I'm going to go with Cam Newton this week. That price tag is really enticing at 6K. The Bengals, the first 2 weeks, they have a great front seven, so they are very tough on the ground. So we're going to see Cam Newton have to throw the ball a lot. So this week, I like Newton a lot. He's also might have to pull the ball down and run if things break down, because he always has that running ability, always has a chance to get you a rushing touchdown or 2. And this week, I think he's a great play. I want to pair him with Funches this week. He's also very cheap, so I think they make for a great stack. So Cam Newton's at near the top of my list at quarterbacks this week, just with the upside that he has. All right, running back, I like a couple guys in the mid 6K range this week. I think Tevin Coleman is a great play this week with Freeman out for a couple more weeks. Tevin Coleman had a decent game, got just under 20 Draftkings points. He didn't really play a factor in the passing game, which is kind of surprising because Coleman is a great pass catching back, and this week I think this is a perfect spot for him to showcase his pass catching ability as well as coming out of the backfield. So he should get around 16 to 20 rushes and should get probably 5+ targets this week. I didn't have a touchdown as well, and this total for this Saints-Falcons game is one of the highest this week. So I think there's a good chance Coleman, if he's near the goal line, he's going to get the carry, even though Ryan took twice 2 of them last week. But Tevin Coleman is just a great play just because he has running ability and receiving ability, and he's going to get all the opportunities in the red zone, hopefully. So I think Coleman at 64 is a safe play. Price tag rose a little bit, but still not enough. And at running back this week, there's not a ton that I really love besides Kamara at top. So I think you're going to have to get a little creative in the mid 6K range. And then the second running back I like is Chris Thompson at 63. Alex Smith is known to just check down passes, and it has just showed so well for Chris Thompson in the first 2 weeks. He has 21 targets, had just missed getting a 100-yard bonus last week. So he has just so much upside just because he can catch the ball out of the backfield and take off with it. This is a game where if the Redskins are trailing, which I think there's a decent chance they will be trailing, Thompson's going to be in for a lot. Like, you saw the same thing happen in week 2. Peterson was on the sideline for later in the game just because every down was a passing down with them down by so much. Thompson is just a great back out of the backfield, and the Redskins don't have a lot of receiving options on the team. So Thompson is a safe play. He's going to be has an upside play as well just because the Packers defense is very vulnerable against the rush and pass. They're not a great defense. They rely on Aaron Rodgers to come and save them. And at home, I think Chris Thompson is in for another big week this week, so I'm going to be all over him at 6,300. All right, let's go on to wide receiver. Receiver, you have the same guys at top. Mike Thomas at 8,900. That's a big price to pay for a receiver, but he's deserving of that price, I guess. The Falcons are a decent defense, but I'm probably not going to be paying that much for Michael Thomas. It's a little too expensive. Tyreek Evans is the second highest priced receiver. I never thought we would see that. He's priced well above guys like Julio Jones, even Beckham and Hopkins. So, Tyreek Hill is a boom or bust play. This Chiefs offense has been rolling. I think he's a great play, but I think they're gonna have a down game soon. It might be this week. But I like AJ Green a lot at 7,500. He's just sticking out a lot this week. He's priced a lot cheaper than guys like Michael Thomas, Hopkins. Has so much upside, so much red zone upside, just because he's Andy Dalton's favorite receiver. The Bengals don't have many other options to take targets away from him. He's always going to get a ton of targets. And this Panthers defense, I told you guys last week, not a great defense secondary. They have a good front seven, good against the rush, but they're bad against the pass. And that's why in this game we're going to see Andy Dalton have to throw the ball a lot, just like we saw Matt Ryan throw the ball a ton in week 2. And looking at the Panthers cornerbacks, I'll show you guys, all of these guys are very short. Only one of these guys is above 6 foot, and that is James Bradbury, who has the worst grade of them. So he's probably going to be matched up against Dante Jackson, who's only 5'11", and AJ Green is at 6'4". So he has 5 inches over pretty much every single cornerback on the Panthers, and he's just going to be towering over them. So it is another smash spot for AJ Green. I think this is a spot where AJ Green gets over 100 yards, finally gets over 100 yards, and always has chances to get multiple touchdowns, just being the giant red zone monster that he is, unlike Julio Jones, who hasn't been a red zone threat lately. All right, second wide receiver, I think I like Keelan Cole quite a bit this week. He's only 5,600, number 1 receiver for the Jaguars. Blake Bortles looked very good against the Patriots, and the Jaguars are a great team with Bortles playing the way he is. Jaguars, now they get another great matchup. They're at home again against Tennessee. Tennessee's pass defense is atrocious. Gave up huge games to Will Fuller and Hopkins last week, same with week 1. Keelan Cole at 5,600. We saw what we saw at the end of last season from him against the Patriots. I'm not sure who's going to be able to match up with him on the Titans side. And Blake Bortles obviously likes to target Keelan Cole, has a ton of big play upside, and this Titans team is susceptible to big plays. So at 5,600, Keelan Cole is underpriced given the matchup, so I like him quite a bit. And then I told you guys Cam Newton with Devin Funchess. I love Funchess this week. He's only at 5,000. Without Greg Olsen, the Panthers' offense becomes very easy to figure out. It's going to be a three-headed monster between Cam Newton, Devin Funchess, and Christian McCaffrey. Those are the three players that are going to get the biggest boost with Greg Olsen hurt, especially Funchess and McCaffrey catching the ball. But Funchess finally got targets later in the game. Cam Newton really wasn't looking towards him in the first half. But this week, like I mentioned, it's going to be tough for Christian McCaffrey to get a lot of things going on the ground just with how good the Bengals' rush defense is. So we're going to see Cam Newton throw the ball a lot, and when he's throwing, he's probably going to look towards Funchess. Without Greg Olsen, he gets a ton of more targets. Just becomes the best receiver on the field for the Panthers, and a 5K, way too cheap at home in a good matchup for passing situation. So I love Funchess this week. Funchess is also a good target in the red zone just because of how big he is. So that does it for this week. Those are the 6 plays that I like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop a like on the video. I appreciate it. If you're enjoying us this week, you can visit my website, dfsprocess.net. Thanks for watching, and good luck this week.